At some point in our lives, we may already wonder, why are we isolated? As stated in previous videos, there is an almost endless number of almost perfect beings and perfect beings that fill this gap between us mortal beings and God. So question is why none of them are here in the flesh to enlighten us? Well, as was said, to develop beings with faith. The experience could justify it. But that's not all that makes up the fact of our isolation. There are other factors. But before further clarifications, there are other questions that come together with these questions. As the supposed fall of man? Are we isolated because we have sinned? Are we paying for our mistakes? How is that? First of all, to answer all these questions, we must understand what is evil and sin. Sin is potential in all places where imperfect beings are endowed with the ability to choose between good and evil through free will. In a universe of things and evolutionary beings, the contrast between perfection and imperfection generates the potential harm. The conflict between truth and falsehood produces the error of confusion. The divine gift of choice, free will, leads to divergent realms of sin and righteousness. The possibility of making mistakes is inherent in the acquisition of wisdom itself. And attention, understand the difference. The deliberate choice of evil constitutes sin. The willful rejection of truth is error. And only the persistent adoption of sin and error would lead to iniquity. The ability to choose between good and evil, through free will, it is not only for us the evolutionary planets, but for every beings possessing free will may at some level to decide between good and evil. According to the book, one of the directors who are between us and God, specifically from our system through their free will, decided to go against God's plans, on a scheme that would divert from the goal of building experience to God. And this choice brought major consequences, including a big delay in our entire system of planets. The name of this leader is Lucifer, but with a very different history and characteristics from the one you may already heard about it. Lucifer, a bright being of the local universe, which was noted for his wit, wisdom and efficiency, went through great trials and was successful in all its missions before governance. It was a great steward for over 500,000 years before deciding, through his free will, to interfere with God's plans and in our affairs. For a while, some beings believed that his rebellious idea was something to be persuaded, in fact, for the good of the whole system, if not for the good of the whole universe. Most of the beings did not follow him. At some point of this experience, he became unfaithful and evil evolved into deliberate and willful sin. For him was offered a long time ago, the opportunity for regret and mercy. However, only a few of his subordinates accepted mercy. In his case, mercy has been strongly rejected. The fact that the first and second revelations have failed here on earth, which was explained in the previous video, had direct and indirect influence of this system rebellion caused by Lucifer. Currently, Lucifer is deposed and awaiting trial. As a result, communication was interrupted because it could bring much more damage at more distant places. Communication will be re-established at the moment Lucifer is completely dismissed, and the rebellion will not cause more damage than is already caused. But remember, regardless of the trial, every higher value survives in one or another way, regardless of the results of the trial or a remote regret from Lucifer. The trial delay is based on system time and also on our Creator's mercy, known as Jesus on earth. Anyone who has kids can imagine how difficult it would be to have to sentence a child. But one question is eminent. Why the choice of Lucifer had so big consequences and hurt to so many people? God would allow it? Well, even us, when we make decisions through our free will and that those decisions have effects on people, we can understand how this works. Free will is directly related to the donation of personality and experience, and this has consequences, but God does not want any negative consequence to us, you can be sure. Nothing more appropriate than the divine mercy to equalize these forces, our very existence would be impossible without the free will of choice. At first glance it might seem that the land and similar isolated worlds are too unfortunate for having been deprived of the presence of beneficial influences of superhuman personalities. However, the insulation provides a unique opportunity for the exercise of faith and a special quality of cosmic reliability in a conviction that does not depend on vision or any other material aspect. The Ascenders, at a very early stage, are trusted numerous of special missions, that an unquestioned faith and sublime confidence are essential. Because of the experience gained in this process now, it taught to us that the good resulting from Lucifer rebellion is 1,000 times the sum of all evil. To better understand the fact that all these deviations, as well as other factors, that makes us so special, understand how relative is timing, it is important to understand these delays, as well as having greater details about how to differentiate evil, sin, human taboos, can only be properly informed with the reading and participation at study groups. Have a great reading and see you at the next video.